Okay, the first in the series of books I would recommend if you want to really get into the medieval stuff, but you don't want to get bogged down in, like real history, this and that day, blah, blah, blah. You want to have just a fun read. Sharon K. Penman has a series of books. The first in the series is called The Queen's Man. There's 4 of them. They're mysteries. They're medieval mysteries. And they're fun reads. The first one, Queen's Man, you can read this literally in an afternoon. And she writes a lot about Queen Elanor, the first queen of both France and England, and Prince John, some of her favorite subjects. Just great fictional reads based in real historical facts, a lot of very accurate information. She does a lot of research. But you'll come away from reading a quick novel and you'll learn a lot about actual medieval history and the way people lived. Another good series is Candace Robb series, the Owen Archer mysteries. These are just great, again, fast reads that you can learn a lot from. Now, if you want to turn it up a notch from there and do something that's maybe, read something that's maybe a little more in-depth and even more historically relevant and accurate, there's a series of, well, actually, the first one is The Name of the Rose, Umberto Eco, an Italian writer. This is a great, it's a long book. You're going to get into it, but it just elevates you into another whole universe. It's a great book. Again, back to Sharon K. Penman. Now, she wrote the mystery series, but she also has written some really fantastic historical novels. The history in them is extraordinarily accurate, very well researched. The day-to-day lives of people are looked at. Of course, the conversations, the exact events are fictional, but they're all based on historically accurate events in history. Again, she writes a lot about Queen Elanor and Prince John, and Queen Elanor was the mother of Richard the Lionheart, also the first woman, very powerful woman in her time. You're looking 12th century here, and she was Queen of France and Queen of England. She did a big stint in prison too. She's an amazing woman to read about, actually. Now, the next series of books, these are more of just nuts and bolts. This is the day-to-day history. This is how it was. This isn't fiction. This is more of just kind of explaining how things were. A book by Marjorie Rowling called Life in Medieval Times. This is a small book that you can read pretty quickly, but you'll learn a lot about medieval history. And then these two, Joseph and Francis, and I won't try to say their last name, it's Gies. They've written a great series of books: Life in a Medieval City, Life in a Medieval Village, Life in a Medieval Castle. They have some great books that you might want to read. Now, there's some other things out there. Here's a biography, for example, of William Wallace. Braveheart was a great movie, but it wasn't real accurate. And they really don't know a lot about William Wallace, but what they do know, this is a great book, and it's fascinating to read. Another one, now this is actually pre-medieval. This is the Druids. So this goes back a little further in Celtic British history, but also really fascinating because this lays the groundwork for a lot of things that carried on into medieval times as far as beliefs go and practices and people's thought processes, that sort of thing.